Glad to have you here. I've been asking everybody, have this big event like this. What is your main message or mission for this event?
We want to simplify everything about buying and selling cars. That's our mission as Cars Commerce,
Love it.
and it is the message that we're getting out there at the event, and I think we're breaking through on that idea, simplifying, and we'll talk more about that.
It was just last fall that the company was rebranded as Cars Commerce. How's that going? What was the thinking behind it? Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Some of what I just mentioned, the pain that dealers face day in and day out, dozens and dozens of technology and marketing partners that they have to work with just to sell cars and buy cars and to run their business operations. Look, we're not everything that they need to run local retail, but there are four essential parts of running local retail that we are focused on. Best-in-class marketplace, easy distribution for them, just turnkey distribution. Extending from that into world-class and simple to use marketing, so that if you want to reach the 5% of consumers who are truly in market for a car, those hand raisers are on cars.com, and we can put them out on our Cars Commerce Media Network and help them with marketing. Trade and appraisal, so they can acquire more cars easily and at the right price. And finally, the world-class technologies from Dealer Inspire, websites that convert very well.
Heading into the show, you put out a release about 3 key pain points that dealerships are facing. What are they?
Well, some of what I've touched on is in there. But right at the top of that list is efficient, high-quality audience that they're looking at, efficient reach and high-quality audience. And secondly, they're trying to differentiate themselves from competitors. They have to work at selling as much as ever. And third, they need to acquire used cars and do it at the right price. So those 3 pain points are very real for the 20,000 dealers that we work with, and I hear it every day. I was just out in New York a few weeks ago and was reminded by every dealer that I met out there of those pain points. And look, on the marketing side, we talked about the 5% of consumers are in market. Mm-hmm. For our marketplace, these customers are coming, and 85% of them are going to buy a car within 6 months. This is not a consumer that is just watching a sporting event.
Yeah.
This is not a consumer that's coming to buy a book. These are customers who are in market, that are in market for a car, and we can help to connect them to those customers through the Cars Commerce Media Network. So that piece is very important. Obviously,
one key element of that is this high quality consumer.
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially with the affordability challenges that the market is facing and the higher interest rates, it's that person who has the means and the ability to borrow if they need to.
Yes.
Not everyone who wants to buy a new car really can buy one right now.
Which is also why we've introduced the instant finance capability with the acquisition of Credit IQ last year. We've introduced instant finance capability on the marketplace and also on dealer websites, so that consumer can not only say, hey, I'm in market for a car, but can I be pre-qualified for one of your loan products? Let's find out what loan product I am pre-qualified for, and that is a measure of quality. And guess what? When they're pre-qualified for a loan, they're 15% more likely to close inside of that dealership. So it has very tangible benefits for them.
Yeah. So how do you help them help dealerships acquire more?
Yeah, let's talk about
inventory.
those other pain points, right? The acquisition of cars. Like in the old model, there was some, and we're in Vegas, and there's that reality show where Rick is the guy inside of the antiquities shop that is putting a number on everything. And in the old model, I think there was a bit of that in the automotive world too, where you had to go find Rick, and Rick's going to put the number on it, and it's an outdated model. And now the modern model is anyone inside. It democratizes it. Anyone inside that dealership is able to, with AccuTrade, put a number on that car and know that they're putting a number that is backed. First, that it sees the mechanical history of the car, that it's backed by the data of the market, and that it's guaranteed and backed by Cars Commerce. So they have a lot of confidence in the numbers that they're putting on it, whether it's on the sales floor in the service drive, through the BDC, or in sight unseen appraisals. So AccuTrade can really transform the speed at which they are acquiring cars, and as they acquire more cars, then they can sell more cars too.
Yeah.
And then finally, of course, differentiation for us. Cars Commerce uniquely has 13 million consumers who have reviewed dealers and have those dealership reviews posted. And that dealership review and obviously the review platform and reputation platform capabilities are part of what we offer. But any customer that is, or any dealership that is working with us, has access to that data through our customer experience reports, so they can improve their experience and differentiate themselves, whether it's in the service drive or with the finance team or in how they're handling leads. We give them information from that review content so they can get better.
So I know those are your 3 official pain points. I'm wondering, there's another one, at least we hear a lot of talk about it, is EVs and maybe the disconnect between manufacturers' production and what the market currently will bear. When you're with the many shoppers and dealers you interact with every day, do you have any insights on what that market's like, how it's shaking out, where it's working and where it isn't?
We see both the markets where there's plenty of demand for EV and plenty of interest, as well as markets where it's a bit lighter and the education curve is earlier. I think that this story is going to play out over years, and we shouldn't overreact either to the positive or to the negative in the short term. It's an education, and consumers are learning about EVs. We put a lot of content out with our editorial team that gets a great deal of engagement on our site. So there are indications that consumers are craving that type of content to understand more about an EV car and whether they should have range anxiety or not. And our editorial team does a good job alongside of our dealers and our OEM partners at educating consumers on that future.
Great. Doug Miller is president of Cars Commerce. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Jamie, it's great to see you, and I hope to see you before next NADA.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Doug.
Bye.